Hello there, my name is Connor, and about 3 weeks ago, it's been a while, hasn't it? I joined Zaneborn 2's Sky Hybrid Wars with my hybrid, Damos. He's basically a gliding semi-truck that lives in the mountains, getting his DNA from Quetzalcoatlus, Antiosaurus, Megatherium, beaver, and bison. Soon after a large amount of constructive criticism, and also the fact that the second episode dropped for this war, I've decided to redo and clarify some things for Deimos to ensure victory for my child of fear and dread against Marian Volt. One common critique was that Damos was too obese to fly, which I found quite hilarious. Although to clarify, Zaneborn himself did mention that weight wouldn't be too much of an issue. Not sure the judges will be so lenient, but I have a counter argument that I'll explain later. But to ensure he doesn't implode on himself, we'll be making improvements to his biology and genome. First off, the Quetzalcoatlus DNA will be replaced with Hatzegopteryx, which was suggested by a few people. This is because Hatzegopteryx aligns quite well with Deimos' idea, being a top-heavy and they almost are the same weight class. Also, we'll be adding the air sacs suggested by Vinata, an actual biologist who actually approved the non-revised version of Damos, which was my counter-argument, as I'm not sure if the other judges are biologists, but whatever, it's their job, not mine, to judge these things. He suggested to add the air sacs to make sure he doesn't end up in the Dragon Slayer Codex. These air sacs will lessen his density, allowing him to glide far more better, and will allow it to thermoregulate, which will be useful later. We will increase his wing size with gene editing to 48 feet to allow Damos to glide. Heck, this might give him the potential to soar like Hatzegopteryx and Quetzalcoatlus, not built for speed, but for distance. This also avoids going into epic rarity, as most gliders will end up there. Damos will be getting some new components to his genome suggested by Wormdude on Discord. These are Vampire Bat. This will be replacing Beaver for iron distribution, as only after I made the video did I realize that Beavers only had iron in its teeth. Damos shall also be sacrificing a few of his fingers to increase the wing surface area to catch the air currents better when soaring. Flying Squirrel. This provides its fur genes paired with the dense fur of the bison, and you have protection from aerial and uppercuts. With these new additions, it will allow him to be better equipped for this war. I would like to point out Flyer Syndrome, where this is a syndrome where flying genes overlap, but that doesn't make sense to me. If Hatzegopteryx was the base, it should have the brain, of course, and the additional body parts should affect it, depending on how much it is used in the overall body. But if I'm using the bat for iron distribution, it shouldn't affect that much, although this is my opinion on hybrid genetics. Okay, I've been avoiding this for way too long. A commenter by the username Nathan, I'm just going to call you Nathan, I have no idea how you pronounce that whole username, had pointed out the inaccuracies of the Megatherium section from my previous video on Damos. However, a few of the points are a little bit inaccurate in itself, like how he points out that Megatherium has only been discovered in South America. However, fact-checking through Wikipedia, Megatherium has been discovered in South America, yes, but also southern parts of North America, so my information isn't completely inaccurate. Although Megatherium having osteoderms in science has only been speculated, but not widely accepted. The only Pacific species that had it was Mylodon and Ementotherium. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but for the sake of Damos and this war, and to make this video shorter, he will be keeping his osteoderms. So thank you, Nathan, for pointing this out. I gladly appreciate it. So with that, Damos has his final revisions. Yes, final, as after this video, I'll be covering other topics that are of interest at the moment. As much fun as I had with Damos, I don't think I will return to him. To explain why I was gone for like 3 weeks, I got sidetracked with side quests in trying to find a text-to-speech audio so I can make my content creation much quicker. However, many people reminded me of why this channel low-key hits. It's my voice. And also school. School's been a bum this term. A whole bunch of terms, way too much homework. So I haven't really had much time to work on videos. And that makes me think when I should probably make videos. Probably like on Saturdays and that stuff. But anyways, thank you for watching and thank everyone for the beautiful fan art and contributions you did. I will see you guys in the next video. See ya!